daughter's name is Azure Peak, and she's 11. This friend had mentioned to me about Dr. Lyman's program, and by the time I did come into Dr. Lyman, other behaviors had happened. Now Azure's SLD, she leaves the class, her friends say, "Bye, dummy," or her peers say, "Bye, dummy." And then she started to think, okay, how am I going to get out of this SLD thing? This isn't working for me. Since Azure's been coming to this program, if her self-esteem was rated at 0 when she walked in the door, it's probably at 98 now. She has blossomed. She has a lot of self-confidence.
The kids, when they start to view themselves as a learner, as someone who can actually succeed in a classroom setting, it's an amazing thing. You start to see children blossom. And when the kids run in with a test and say, "I got 102 on my test today," you know, I break up. You know, I just, you know, sometimes I just want to, you know, jump up and kick my heels, and other times, you know, it brings tears to my eyes. It's an amazing thing to see these children make those type of gains, and you can see it in their eyes when they start to make that change, that I'm not dumb, I'm not somebody that can't learn, I'm someone that now can succeed and can use the skills I've always known I've had, but I can use them to my advantage, and I can use them to read and to write and to spell and to get the grades and to learn in the way that they should be able to. You see progress pretty rapidly. You'll start to see the writing improve and the letter formation almost immediately. So you can see measurable results in a very, very rapid time frame.
For us, it was, yes, my child has learned something, yes, my child has improved, but her behavior and her self-esteem has just completely been eradicated.
Results from the SLS program are realized almost immediately. A double-blind study that took place in the Orange County school system in Central Florida showed a drastic improvement within 70 classroom hours.
It's just really no way to describe it unless you see it. I looked for different methods, and really, after 20 years, everything just seemed to be the same old thing over and over. So when I connected with Dr. Lyman, I was absolutely thrilled that someone had come up with an approach that was actually something different. Maybe 90% of my college courses were not as helpful, and working with the kids is just training under Dr. Lyman. If they're interested in learning and they want to learn, then you can see just results in a week. Once you get the attitude in place and they see they're learning and they know it's just not the same old thing, and they're getting somewhere and they can feel it inside, they have that intuition that this is right for them.
I was asked to do some assessments as far as intellectual and achievement to get a baseline on his students, and then I came back about 3 or 4 months later and retested them, and what I found, I was amazed. I had to I redid my test scores because I thought I had all the wrong numbers. They had tested out of the learning disability program at that time. After they're in the program for about a month or so, and usually only takes about a month, their attitude changes. They're more positive, they're more ready to learn, they want to go to school. Very few programs have I seen where the children do not complain about going. They actually look forward to it. And I think this is because this is one of the first successes that they have had educationally. And it feels good, so their self-concept improves.
I think it's learning in a different way. We all can learn. Every child in this world can learn. But we learn in different stages because our mind isn't mature enough to handle different things at different times. So when it is able to mature and it is developing, then we can take on new methods and new ways so that we can learn by. And this is what this provides. It helps stimulate the brain in a way that has been sleeping, and it wakes it up and says, okay, now we can use these strategies and these ways to learn to read. Not only read, but to write and to comprehend. It makes a child feel successful, not only in education, but within himself. I think it's valuable to tell a child that he can learn and is able to learn, but show him how he can do it and give him the tools to go on with it.
After numerous studies and comprehensive testing, SLS has proven itself to be not only a successful program, but also an opportunity for students and adults with learning disabilities to compete in our competitive world.
It's significantly much more difficult for a young adult or an older adult, even involved in their, heavily involved in their career, to so you say, start over. They've built in all these habits and compensating factors to compensate with those learning disabilities. And we have to break through those to give them some freedom so they can deal with the symbolic world we lived in.
Going through school from kindergarten through 12th grade was very difficult for me. I was placed in a lot of the slower classes. I was very shy. In fact, teachers thought that I had a hearing problem the whole time I was in school. I was tested like 15 times for hearing problems because I was afraid to answer questions because I was just very insecure and timid. Thought I was always going to get the answer wrong. I have looked at other programs and tried them out, but none of them have been able to help me. So I feel, except for the SLS, it's more hands-on, and that's how I know I learn.
Many times when with adults, when they start seeing success, well, specifically give an example with reading, success with reading, that success, that confidence will spill over into daily life, whether it's enjoyable reading for recreation or having to read things at their job. Many times when adults do come to see us, they're at their wits' end. They've searched for answers and they've found none. And one of the things I like to do is just let them see the program working with others of their age. And they can just kind of intuitively make up their mind themselves and see the success in others, and that usually is all it takes.
It definitely is helping me, and that a lot of people that I know, a lot of friends even, have verbalized problems that they've had that have been like mine, and they just don't know what it is. They've just compensated it so much, but it affects them in everyday life. It's affected me, just direction somewhere, just following somebody in a conversation, just little things that I've noticed more and more and that have helped me. The SLS program has helped me with direct little things like that. And I recommend it. I ask them to just look into it, or maybe be a little more conscious of the things that they have trouble with and why. And hopefully they will look into the program and it can help them too.
Our children develop learning patterns at a young age, which they will use for the rest of their lives. In a society that has become extremely competitive and where a college education is almost mandatory, the struggle to succeed has become more difficult for children and adults with learning disabilities. Stabilized Learning Systems offers them a chance to bridge the gap.